Hello, Mr. Randy Duck, and welcome back for another video and another episode of Decent Defeats. This time we have two replays to show you, the first of which are here in the Tier 9 American Premium Tank Destroyer, the TS-60, and the second one will be in the Tier 8 Soviet Premium Tank Destroyer, the SU-130. But here we are for the first replay then. And if you want to see the equipment and crew setup I use in the TS-60, you will see that at the bottom of the screen as I speak. So the first replay we have for you today is on Thiepval Ridge. We are in Tier 9 matchmaking, so we are top tier in this game. And there is no enemy artillery to contend with, but we do have to deal with 3 enemy light tanks. So the TS-60, I have done a few replays in this tank. I think I've done one recently for the third mark video. This was prior to me free marking the tank, but it was one of the replays I had which I hadn't shared yet. And we go on to have a good game and, obviously a loss, hence the title. But nonetheless, we have a good game. So with no artillery being in the game, we're going to push straight across down this side, because the TS-60, although you can play like a traditional tank destroyer with your good concealment value, you also have some decent armour as well when you are hull down, and you can bounce a few shots. And with no artillery to contend with, we can push into this location and actually get hull down on this ridge and try and deal with these enemy team. We do actually have quite a few tanks coming with us, so we have a decent support, but there is also quite a few enemy team in actually front of us here, so we're going to get into a little bit of a battle. We bounce a shot off of that Centurion. It looks like he's using the small gun there because he's only got 230 alpha. But we bounced a couple of shots and we're in a good position. You can see the turret can work quite effectively here. And then we managed to penetrate for our first shot, picking up our first pen of damage. Just trying to wiggle to make it awkward for him to shoot our cupola. Unfortunately, we are now getting shot in the side. And this tank on the side is a bit of a problem for us. But we can't turn our whole tank to his attention because we've got multiple tanks in front of us here. So we're just trying to do our best to stay alive essentially, and just bounce these shots and pick up the damage where we can. Already we have blocked close to 2,000 damage, and we managed to pick up 1,000 damage of our own. Trying to focus out this Centurion here the best we possibly can, because it is a Tier 9 tank, although it isn't fully upgraded yet. But it does have a fantastic rate of fire. We go straight through its turret, picking up another penetration for our 4th penetration and putting them onto a 2-shot to us. Again, like I said, TD on my left is somewhat of a problem here. And we are starting to lose this game here. And bouncing about 2,000 damage, but it is a little bit awkward. I'm also concerned now with this heavy tank, this Rhino tank making its way down the right hand side. So I'm going to get kind of caught in a situation where I can get shot at by multiple angles, and that's not really where I want to be, if I'm honest. So I'm trying to finish off that Centurion. I'm now starting to get penetrated, and I'm down to 1,000 hit points. The Rhino has side shots at me, and it's just no longer safe to stay where I am, and I need to just try and get out of there, really, and just kind of kill this Rhino, get rid of this Rhino from this angle, because it's not looking promising, and I feel like the enemy team are starting to win this side. So we're going to try and pull back and react to just kill this Rhino. We do have the tier advantage on him, and we do feel like we've got the DPM to take care of this tank fairly quickly. If hopefully we can try and bounce a shot or two by trying to side scrape, make it difficult for him to pen us, only exposing our turret armour. We put a second shot in, which also damages his engine there, putting him onto a 2-shot. I'll say I'm doing my best to try and kill this tank as quickly as I can. Unfortunately, I ricocheted the shot there, which is not ideal, but Tiger Shark has now got behind him, and we're able to take him out, picking us up well, don't pick up the kill, but we do eliminate that threat, putting us onto 3,000 damage now, 3,500 blocked, and in a 9 versus 9 scenario. So a very close game. But we're going to try and pull back somewhat, because we have lost quite a few numbers here. Unfortunately, as we try and leave, we get spotted, and I've realised that leaving now is just not really not really possible. Frustratingly, we bounced that kill shot off the Centurion there, which is not ideal. We do put one into the Emil who's trying to peek on us, and we're just going to have to try and use this rock to stay as safe as we possibly can. Probably really need the tanks in our base location, like that medium tank in our base, to come up and help us really now, because we can still win this side, but we need the support. It's really only me and our friendly light tanks here, and we are getting low on those hit points, but still very, very winnable if we can try and get to support. But as you can see, I'm up against it. I don't feel like I can leave without getting farmed in the rear, so I'm just going to try and get into the battle again and see if we can try and eliminate this Emil as quickly as we can. I want to kill this tank basically, so I can then turn attention to other tanks behind us, but I need to just finish this Emil quickly. Unfortunately, one of our friendly light tanks has died. It's just me and this Tiger Shark here. Can't quite get the gun depression to get the shot in, but if he keeps moving, we should be able to get one through his turret. We do, putting him onto a one shot here, putting us onto 3,800 blocked and 4,500 damage. I'll swap to the small mini map because thing is getting crazy. Getting flanked by the Super Sherman there. He bounces his shot. We put him onto a one shot with this shell here. We need to try and finish him off because we've got tanks coming, left, right, and centre right now. He is on, well, he's actually on a two shot to us at the moment. But we've also got another, we're just surrounded right now. We do get one into the Super Sherman, he bounced again, putting us under 5,500 damage now with 5,000 blocks. We then finish that tank off, trying to immediately turn our attention because we're getting full sent by a French heavy tank, which we bounce our shot, but he also bounces. Udez comes around onto us. Can we finish him off? We do finish him off. Now we're going to try and turn around again. Like I say, things are getting absolutely crazy. We're in a 6 versus 4. Put one through the drive-through. He bounces again. Now this is where it gets frustrating. Unfortunately for me, now a Vanguard comes behind me, and of all things, I get killed by a Vanguard there because there was no real pressure from our friendly team. And if it wasn't for that Vanguard, I feel like I would have killed that French heavy tank. And yeah, who knows what's going to happen. Unfortunately for us, it goes on to have a loss, even though we do have a good game and it was a bit of a mad one, so I thought I'd share it. Let's just skip ahead though. I'm not going to make you watch all of this, and we can see how we got on the scoreboards. So there you go. Despite giving it our all, we didn't get the victory, but we do have a good game. 6,500 damage with 5,000 blocked. If we had a little bit more from our sport, if that Vanguard wasn't there, I actually feel like we could have won that game and gone on to have, who knows what more damage. But we don't. That's the end for this replay. But we've got one more to come in the SU-130. So stay with us, and I'll talk to you in a bit. Okay, so here we are for the final replay on Redshire. We are in the SU-130PM, and this time it is Tier 10 matchmaking. We don't have to contend with any artillery, but there is one enemy light tank, and as I say, we are in a Tier 10 lobby. But this tank, because of the fantastic gun it does have, it's not the end of the world when you are in a Tier 10 lobby, because you have good concealment. I've got concealment of 221 concealment, so you're very stealthy, and on a map like Redshire, you can use that to your advantage. You then got 243 penetration on your standard AP rounds with 520 alpha, so you really feel like you hit hard when you hit those tanks, even if they are the Tier 10 tanks. And anything which you're going to struggle to pen with the AP, you've got that 320 heat pen, so you're basically, it's not the end of the world when you are in a Tier 10 lobby, at least what I find anyway. So here we are on Redshire, and initially we're kind of in the standard tank destroyer place at the start. We're just seeing what shots we can get. We've got a nice shot at the start of the game in the light tank, which is always very helpful, especially when there is only one enemy light tank on their team. Now IS-7 somewhat in the open, so we try and get a shot through the lower plate blind there, but yeah, I don't think that hit. So we do swap to the heat shell because we're going to need the heat for the IS-7 to reliably pen him at distance. Obviously with the heat shells, if you don't know, when you are firing over distance, you do not lose any penetration drop off like you would with APCR or AP rounds. So we do spot a few tanks on this ridge. So far we haven't been detected, and the enemy light tank's not sort of full send this area, which is good because it kind of allows us to play passive here, just waiting for some tanks to spot, because obviously we're not going to play aggressively in this tank. We could have shot that enemy tank destroyer there, kind of regret not pulling the trigger, But it's not to worry, you know, he might poke again, and he does, and we're able to slam a shot in, picking up our second pen, putting us onto 1,000 damage now. So this is what I mean, you know, you really hit hard with that 520 alpha gun. It's just really, really nice. I mean, when you fight in tier 8, you know, you're free shotting a lot of them. So that's just sort of how good this gun can actually be. So I think this replay, yeah, I've actually free marked this tank now, so I have done a recent replay in this, just like I had with the you know, American tank destroyer I was just playing, but at this point I hadn't free marked it, so this was going towards my third mark grind at this point. So we're just waiting, we've got another shot in, putting us onto 1,600 damage. And again, at the moment, you know, the enemy team, I guess we're fairly split. Both teams are fairly split. Looking to try and get a shot into that I7. Again, he loses his spot. And wasn't able to quite put that shot in there. But an enemy pattern gets spotted on the other ridge. So we're just keeping an eye out. And just so far, we haven't been detected, I don't think, all game. Enemy Super Conqueror gets spotted on the other side. We get a shot and it only just damages gun. You know, with the Super Conqueror, you can actually go through the gun manual if you hit the right place there. AMX-30B gets seen and we don't quite have the opportunity to put a shot in there. But here's that pattern from earlier, and we actually squeeze in the slimmest of shots there. But it does put him onto a one shot, which is nice. But now if you look at the mini-map, we have pretty much lost the 9-0 line, which is not ideal for us because we're basically going to get collapsed on by the enemy team. And I don't really feel too safe here. I'm thinking I may have to move back to the A1-2 sort of line and be forced back to a sort of retreat position to try and get more shots in. Because once I get detected, things are going to get awkward for me. I do put a shot there into that enemy Chinese tank destroyer. And unfortunately, I do get detected for it, which I kind of thought was going to happen. But then I eat a shell for it. But not too bad. Thankfully, we only eat one shell. But it's now at 7 versus 11, and we have lost that zone. And I can't stay here because of where the Super Conqueror is pushed up as well. I'm going to get caught in a very awkward situation. So I feel like the best thing I can do, and probably the best thing I can do for my team, is actually move back to the A1-2 area. So when we've got our friendly sort of Morat and our friendly light tank on that hill and that ridge, I can try and cover them. At least that's my thought, is to try and be in a situation where I can just, if enemy team poke to shoot them, I can make them as expendable as I possibly can do. You know, we're having a decent game, 3,000 damage, you know, 500 assistance, but there's still lots of opportunity to get a few more shots in before we get put under real pressure. So we are, you know, we're 6 tanks down basically. You know, it's just not looking ideal for us. Super Conqueror, we're going to try and get a shot in here through his cut below if we can. We do have the slimmest of shots. Unfortunately, that one doesn't go true. But now you see where this Morat is. I'm just looking to support him. You know, be a tank destroyer. This time we do manage to go through the cupola. Puts that Super Conqueror on 6 hit points. So we swapped to the HE rounds. The HE rounds, you have 65 penetration with 660 alpha. So when you are fighting actually other TDs like this with no armor, they can be very handy. And also they're good for just trying to splash targets and just finish off the very low health targets like that Super Conqueror, which we loaded it for. But we swap and we managed to pull another kill off there, trying to even the numbers somewhat. You know, we're under pressure, but we are bringing this back. Udez gets taken out. Now this is a very, very close game, but the enemy team definitely have all the map control and they have pushed us back into a situation. But we pull off the slimmest of shots on that Lorraine. I mean, that Lorraine was unlucky. I mean, that shot was so small. Well, we swapped to the HE shell. We should be able to finish off the Super Conqueror here. Bring this back, take away another tier 10. We do. Brings it back to a 4 versus 6. Puts us on 3 kills, 4,300 damage. 6 enemy tanks remaining. But we now have no control of the map. We are all stuck in this one corner, which doesn't bode well for us. We get a shot into the Leopard as he crosses. And at this point, I'm thinking, like, what can I do? I want to get one more shot into that Leopard if I can. But he's, you know, the way he's playing, he's safe from me. I'm not going to be able to get any shots, and I'm thinking I'm probably dead here if I stay. You know, if I stay here, I get another shot, or maybe I get another 2 shots in. But ultimately, we won't. I don't think we'll be able to win. I need to try and get out of there, like our friendly tank destroyer is doing. because if I can try and leave and get out here unspotted, then I might be able to get a situation. You know, the enemy team might try and cap us out, and I can try and outspot them and get some shots in. You just never know. So as I'm leaving here, I am turning my gun just to try and see if I can get any shots in as I escape. I see the IS-7. I think I've actually got an opportunity to put a side shot in, maybe set them on fire if I'm lucky. I do, but unfortunately I get detected for it, which is not ideal because I'm no longer safe, and it also kind of gives away the position where I am to the enemy team. So maybe it wasn't worth pulling that trigger. We do get shot by that AMX-30, but that does tell us something. It tells us that AMX-30 is a one-shot. But we are in a 2 versus 6 and things are not looking pretty. We're on 5,000 damage, 3 kills. But what we want to do, we want to leave, but I'm thinking maybe we've got time just to catch out this AMX-30 who's very, very close to us, and then try and leave. The next tank, which is probably on the way to us, is a Leopard PTA. But I'm hoping to try and kill this tank before we leave and then get the hell out of here, and hope that maybe it's enough time to escape. Thankfully, we do kill the AMX-30, picking up our 4th kill of the game. We didn't get lucky that that shot doesn't penetrate us, and now we need to run. We need to get out of here, lose our spot and escape. And I'm hoping I can just get out of here before the Leopard PTA spots us, because once he spots us, we're not going to be able to escape, and he is still a 2-shot to us. So we're trying to leave at this point. I'm thinking maybe I'm actually going to make it out of there. Unfortunately, the Leopard is coming, and we just goes over that ridge and spots us, which is, yeah, not good for us. Now, if we can hit this one shot into him, we will put him onto a one shot. Unfortunately, that shot does not go true, and I really wanted to put him on a one shot. This game's still very, very winnable. If I can just make him a one shot to us, we eat a shot there, which I didn't need to eat, and yeah, that's not good for us, because now I don't think I can escape. Our friendly tank destroyer is going to leave. I'm going to pull back here and just wait and just try and get, you know, my mindset at this point is, to be honest with you, I can't escape now. Can I just get one more shot in? You know, had I have got that last shot into that Leopard, you know, I would have put him on a one shot, and see, as he came around this corner, that shot would have killed the Leopard, and then maybe I would have escaped, or maybe I would have got one more shot in. Would have been unlikely, but, you know, we gave it our all that game. Unfortunately, we just couldn't get the win. But we do get 4 kills, 6,200 damage. We actually ace tanker this on the loss. So we do have a fantastic game, but sometimes, you know, it's just not enough. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the Decent Defeat series. And as always, thank you for your amazing support. And happy tanking.
Hadouken!